What's up, YouTube? If you can hear me over the cicada invasion here in Appalachia, I'm going to show you really quick how to change the oil on a KX250XC. I'm not going to waste your time with a bunch of useless information or lecture you too long. I'm just going to show you how to do it. That's why this is going to be the best KX250XC 2021 oil change video on YouTube. So what are you going to need for the job? You're going to need oil. You're going to need, unless you have 1 liter exactly, you're going to need a measuring cup, a funnel, a 12mm socket and ratchet. I'm using an 8mm T-handle. You're going to need an oil filter. It's a K&N 207 is the, that most companies use that K&N number, so look for that 207. And then I've got a rag here as well. You're also going to need something to drain the oil in. You also could really use something like this Motion Pro timing plug wrench for your cap, if it's got the OEM cap on it. You may need a set of needle nose or a pick or something to help you pull the oil filter out. Now, as far as oil, most of my 4-strokes just get regular 10W40 motorcycle oil. Cowie will tell you to run Castrol synthetic 5W40. They're partnered with Castrol. Yeah, that's good stuff. I have found out from over the years that I don't need to run synthetic in my bikes. Maybe change it a tad more often, and I've always been just fine with regular, and it's half the price. So I'm gonna run the Maxima regular premium 10W40. That would be like your Yamalube 1040 or your GN4 1040, something like that. You can find this stuff anywhere, even in Advance or anything like that, just as long as it's motorcycle specific. We're gonna start by warming up our bike, not for very long, maybe 30 seconds, just to get the debris, you know, mixed in with the oil, get the oil a little thinner, and let it drain. Now, most bikes with holes in the skid plate have a hole directly over the drain plug. This bike does not, for whatever reason. If you get an aftermarket drain, it probably will. So I'm gonna take my 8mm T-handle and just remove these 4 bolts and pop this skid plate off. Okay, there's my drain plug right there, so now I can get my 12mm on it and crack it. While that drains, I'll go ahead and take off my oil filter cover, which is right here with an 8mm. All right, now that my oil filter's out, I'm just gonna stick the rag back in there and just get all that, let it soak up all that dirty oil and just completely wipe out this entire oil filter well reservoir right here. Okay, so different oil filters go in different ways. Some bikes pump the oil out through the cover, some bikes don't. So on this bike, the hole goes in. Don't put it in backwards. Okay, now when you put your oil filter cover on, I recommend seating it as far as you can with your hand. Put your bolts in, go a little bit at a time. If it starts to go in crooked, you can cut that O-ring. I almost missed a race one time years ago because I cut that O-ring on my KX450 and it was dripping. So listen, guys, this is where it gets important. You do not need to torque these bolts. They are 6mm threads, the same as a plastic bolt. This thing is not going to leak. Snug it down. If it does, you can always snug it down some more. If you go trying to torque these and you are unfamiliar with a torque wrench, or your torque wrench is not working right, you will snap these off in your inner clutch cover, and it is not worth it. Just snug them down, okay? Please. I've seen so many people break those bolts. Okay, now that we're done draining, we've got our washer that came off. It's like an aluminum crush washer, and our bolt. We're just gonna clean those up, thread it back in. You can torque this if you want. It's gonna be around 15 foot-pounds. I don't torque it. It's just another thing I just snug it down. You know, use common sense. Okay, our oil filter is swapped. New one in there. Oil's drained, plugs back in. Ready to fill this thing up with oil. I like to use the Motion Pro timing plug remover. It's made to remove these plugs. If not, you can use a flathead screwdriver or something like that. Just be careful because these do strip pretty easy. Now, oil capacity, 800 milliliters is what it calls for. Period. Drain the oil out, pour in 800 milliliters, good to go. Don't worry about that sight glass. That sight glass will let you know there's oil in it. The sight glass will let you know if the oil's milky. You don't need to be eyeing that sight glass to make sure your oil's at the right level. If it's burning oil, you're gonna know. If there's oil leaking, you're gonna see it on the floor. Just pour in the right amount of oil and go. All right, guys, after you pour in your 800 milliliters, you're gonna put your cap back on. Make sure your O-ring's still on the bottom of it. Now listen, guys, I've seen videos out there of people telling you to torque this and what the torque spec is. Guys, everything on the bike has a torque spec. You do not need to torque this, okay? It's O-ring sealed, and it's very easy to strip this and have a problem getting it off. This is not gonna fall off, okay? Snug it down with some common sense. You're good to go. Do not whip the torque wrench out for this. Every time you do that, an angel loses its wings. All right, guys, 2021 KX250XC or KX250 or KX250F, whatever you want to call it. I'll put in the title what other years this works for. If you guys appreciated this video, grab your supplies for changing your oil from my links in the description down below. Appreciate you so much. Make sure you subscribe. See you in the next one.